How's it going? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Sean. I'm a full-time clothing eBay reseller, and in today's video we're going to talk about the first 6 months of the year, an income breakdown, so to speak. I typically do this at the end of the year, but there are some major changes happening in the reselling game, at least in my life. You guys may have seen other creators talk about some of the trends, the difficulty of this business, how things are changing drastically. The first half of the year wasn't too bad, but let's get straight into it. So the first thing we want to talk about is total sales. Now, what is total sales? Basically, it's all the money that came in from all your sales, your total sales. If you guys are not familiar with the eBay page, you go to performance, you go to sales, and then you can go to custom range. I did January 1st to July 30th. And that's going to give me the numbers we're talking about today. So total sales, this includes taxes. It actually was up 11.1% from the previous time period. So the previous time period they have is the 6 months from July 3rd to December 31st of 2023. So that's actually super surprising. It makes a little bit of sense. Typically, you want your businesses to keep making more money, and it started off good. We are at $109,411.22 for the first 6 months of the year. So if you just double that for the second half, we're going to be at $218,822.44 for an exact duplication of that number. Are we going to reach that? You have to wait to the end so you guys can kind of see how the trends are going. Next, we have taxes and fees. These are taxes and fees collected by eBay. $5,666.93. eBay, why are you taking so much of our money? Hey, they're giving us that money in the form of advertising for sales. If you guys think you can do it yourself, set up a garage sale, set up a Facebook page, see if you can get $109,000 in sales in 6 months. I highly doubt it unless you're selling like some cars. Next, we have the selling costs. Now, what are the selling costs? According to eBay, selling costs are all eBay fees, the amount you paid to buy shipping labels, which is massive when you're a volume clothing seller. And we're going to talk about some of the shipping, how that has gotten even more insane. And then it also says charitable donations if applicable. Your guy's not doing any charities through eBay. I am not quite a philanthropist, but I like to spoil those that I like, and that's kind of where I put my discretionary funds, let's just call it that. Finally, in blue, we have net sales. Now, this is interesting. Net sales are down 2.4% from the previous period. So how could I have total sales up 11%, but then the total net sales down 2.4%? And I can tell you, with this net sales amount for the first 6 months being $58,429, that's not exactly my take home for net sales. And why is that not my exact take home? Like, don't think I'm going to make 120 or 130,000 in profit. That's not how this works. Net sales on eBay is not accounting for what I actually paid the thrift stores for these items. So that statement is all on the credit card that is not tied to eBay. I mean, it's the card I use for the shipping labels, but it doesn't see how much I spent at Thrift Giant or Goodwill or any of those types of thrift stores. How do I figure out that number? There's a couple ways that you can do it. The way that I like to do it is I like to take the total number on the credit card that I spend at thrift stores, which you can find through QuickBooks if you do correct categorization, or if you use a banking service like Found. They're the sponsor of today's video, and we're going to talk about them right now. I'd like to take 1 minute and thank the sponsor of today's video, Found. Found is an all-in-one banking service app for solo entrepreneurs and small businesses alike. It makes you handling your business needs all so convenient in one nice place, and that place actually extends to a mobile app as well. There are no hidden fees and no minimum fees. When you sign up for Found, you receive a free debit MasterCard, and you also get a business bank account. Found will automatically track and categorize your expenses. Once you get this dialed in, it makes it very convenient to keep your cost of goods in order, as well as your other expenses that you can use to deduct for tax time. One of the things I like about Found is it has this smart tax saving tool where it'll actually kind of save your taxes throughout the year. They also have really professional customized invoicing if you are working with direct customers, which can be expanded if you do start selling in like pop-ups and booths. If you guys want to try out Found, make sure to click the links down below. I've been using Found for a little bit this year, and I'm really glad I made the change just because it's really helped clear up how I run my business. We've got Monster Energy. This is the Ultra Fiesta Mango. It's an awesome looking color. It's a little fruity, but we're going to rock with it. So the way I like to find how much money I spent per item is kind of like an estimate. I'll take all the money that I spent on recent purchases for the first 6 months of the year at thrift stores, and then I look at the items sold. So the items sold for this first 6 months was 4,887 items. That's a lot of items sold. So if you take 4,887 divided by 6, you're looking at like 400 something items sold per month. Break it down by 30 again. So you're looking at, I don't know, 13, 15 sales per day, which isn't bad. What you would do though is you take all the money you spent in the first half of the month or the first half of the year, and then you're going to divide that by the amount quantity sold. So you should get an average of like cost of goods per item. Now that is different because the items that sold may have been ones you bought a year, 2, 3 years ago. So it's not an exact measurement. It's just more of like an estimate. And then I just subtract that from my net sales, and that gets me my actual profit for this first 6 months of the year. Now, I don't typically concern myself too much about the actual profit because I have such low living expenses. I mean, I have a wife and kid. We have 2 houses now. We have the office. I have the employee, Randy. And there are a lot of expenses, but what I've noticed is I have enough money for bills. I have enough money for business expenses. And then I also have enough money to kind of like, leisure time or like buy energy drinks or whatever I like to splurge on. I do have that. Now, what I've noticed though in recent months is the amount of money I've been making per month has been going down. Things have gotten tougher on eBay. There's a lot more sellers, I believe. The thrift stores have gone up even higher in prices. I can imagine, I haven't done the exact calculations. I might pop it up right here, but the money spent per item has definitely gone up from the thrift stores, and then the shipping labels have gone up as well. Very wild, very crazy. Now my average sale price is actually, it's down 5%. It's at $22.39. So it's about like what it was. I think I was up to like 23, 24 not too long ago. My main category for sales is still going to be the casual button-down shirts. It's 41,000, almost 42,000 of total sales. And then we have like polos, shorts, jeans, and pants kind of rounding out the bottom half there. So when we take a closer look at the selling cost on eBay's here, remember I said it was about $45,000. The shipping labels for that $45,000 is $25,000. So that's 55.9% of my total fees going directly to the post office. The eBay fees are $19,900, and when we go down, we'll actually see why that's so much. Now we have final value fees being $14,300, and then we have ad fees. So what are the ad fees? I am promoting all my listings at 10%. I've been doing that for, I think, the tail end of last year to definitely the beginning of this year. I wanted to run it an entire year just to see if that 10% discount was promotional fee was actually helping the sales, and it definitely did to a point. I don't know how much it's actually helping now. I'd have to take a deeper dive into like a month by month basis, but it's $6,000. We also have the subscription fee. That's $359 because I'm not at like the basic store. It's like the store up. And then yes, the shipping labels is crazy. So I was approached by the U.S. Postal Service. They emailed me saying that they have a discount type thing that they can do. Basically, they want to get all my data from eBay of my shipping across the country and I guess the globe, and they're going to provide me with cheaper labels, but I have to kind of have them analyze the data for me to actually get whatever discount they can provide. Now that is for the volume type sellers, and I believe I'm kind of at the lowest end of a volume seller. I don't know if you have anything less than this that you might be able to talk to them about that, but pretty much what they said is they want to keep me as a customer and they don't want me going to UPS or FedEx, things like that. I haven't really gone into that route because honestly, guys, I'm having to pick up other work. eBay is not going to be enough for me to sustain a high income without putting in massive amounts of work. Now you may be asking, well, why don't you source more? Why don't you figure out how to sell things for more? Like, the honest to God truth is thrift stores are doing a really good job of selling items themselves. They're marking things up so that the people that are out there, the casual shopper, they're still spending, $20 for a pair of jeans or 25 at their stores. And then for me, I can't buy that at that high price and flip it unless, of course, it's like a really high-end brand, which they, trust me, are starting to figure that out. So I've been taking on some more content work. I can do reels for companies in town. There's not a lot of people in my town that actually know how to make good viral reels or just reels in general. And when I say reels, I pretty much just mean like a commercial. So shooting commercials for other businesses, I can charge anywhere from, $200 to $500 for a reel, and that could take me anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours of work. So if I can pick some of those up, it's going to help the income coming from eBay. Now, I still have about 3,000 items in my store. I am still going to the thrift store. You're still going to see sourcing videos. You're going to see some other like videos. I have some ideas of a couple things. Now, I definitely took an eBay break, an eBay vacation, a YouTube break, a YouTube vacation. I took some time just to kind of like assess what's happening. Like, this is a major shift in my life because I've relied so heavily on eBay's income. I have tried to diversify with, starting the YouTube channel, which, trust me, thanks for the sponsors. They really help with the money, but the actual AdSense from the YouTube videos, you actually need to have like 10,000 plus views to really start seeing significant money. That's just the nature of the beast. And then I'm also creating more competition in a way. Like, if I know there's the people that say, why would you go online to create competition? But honestly, if people are building social profiles off of what you're doing and you're just as good as them, it's good to get out there and talk about it. But yes, you are telling other people in metropolitan areas across the country how to identify certain items, my thought processes when I'm going through them. And it does kind of, there's people that watch and I see them in the stores and it's fun. Competition breeds competition and success, but there's only so many good items at the store and I have to travel so far to get to them. So maybe I'm complaining a little bit. Maybe I'm just realizing that the game has gotten much more difficult and I'm not as big of a player as I used to be in it. With that all being said, eBay is still a tremendous platform. I can still go to the thrift store. Yesterday, I went for 15 minutes. I found 3 items in my local store. It was like a linen Ralph Lauren short sleeve button shirt. It was like one of the newer performance long sleeve quarter zips. And then I found, it was like Banana Republic Traveler jeans or pants for like $7. So not great money, but it was still satisfying to find a couple good items. I think it's more of like, this is just a sign that you may need to diversify your incomes in case something happens where you stop getting the sales and stop finding the items that you were finding. eBay has called me a couple times, a rep from them wanting me to like try their new program. So they have a thing where you can pay for additional advertisement through Google. I'm not advertising this for the channel. I'm just saying what they contacted me to talk about. And basically they want me to try it out in beta and see if my sales increase. And then they eventually want me to pay more. So I'm already paying 10% promoted. They want me to pay more for like the Google type viewing. And I'm kind of like, how much more do you want from me? Like, eBay's, asking for a lot. Post office is asking for more. The thrift stores are asking for more. Ultimately, when Tech and Sports left the game, and I know, he's the biggest player, and then throwing his name out there, you may say like, why are you bringing him up? When he got out of the business, it was like the lights kind of go off. Like, why would the guy making the most money get out of the game? Like, maybe he's done it so long he wants to do other things. I honestly think the juice isn't worth the squeeze, is what they like to say. I truly believe that. I mean, if it was that easy and simple, or like the money was so good, like you would just keep doing it until it gets to the point where you're doing the same amount of work and you're making less and less money. And that's exactly what I'm seeing. I'm doing the same amount of work on my sourcing. I'm trying to diversify. I'm trying to find other things. And honestly, it's just not there. I will say this, I may make a turn back to hard goods. I've been talking about this for a while, but my son Seth, he is about to be 2 years old in November, and he's going to be at the point where garage sales next spring, he's going to be all for it. He was too small to really hit it this spring. He just still wasn't there. He's too much of a baby. He's growing up, though. He's going to help me source. I think I may get back into hard games. I would love to find some video games or just something for the channel that really gets me excited, because finding some vintage clothes or just even nice business casual clothes, it doesn't get the juices flowing. Finding like a Game Boy with some Pokemon games, that's really what I want. I'm going to hunt for that this next spring. I'm going to do some content on that. I also want to do some more like just business kind of philosophy things that I think about when I'm trying to articulate like what my next path is. And honestly, I'm trying to find what Tech and Sports found 15 years ago when he discovered how good he could be at eBay. I want to find the next thing, because if you're in front of that wave, then you can start riding it and be at its highest point whenever everybody else is just now starting to figure it out. And then whenever you're coming down, everyone is putting all their efforts in and you're off to the next wave. That's really how I've seen business happen for the last 4 years that I've been running businesses by myself. Content's the same way. If you guys know, this is a good example. So you know that guy that does the day in the life, and he's like a very plain guy, and he has his bag. He does the slow with the laptop into the bag, and then he like slowly zips it, and he does that day in the life. that style is being copied by a lot of people. Why? Because it was super popular, super viral. It's very relatable, and then everyone copies it until guess what? Nobody's going to want to watch the one guy because so many people are doing it, and then it just kind of like saturates it and floods it out. eBay is still a massive platform, but I have noticed some of the bigger players going to live selling. I'm not for that. I like the volume model, but I don't like all the work involved. Like it is very tedious to go through all the items, especially when it's one-offs. If it's new items, it's a little bit different. Like there's some defects with new, but for the most part, one-offs, going to thrift stores, going to the flea markets, going to handle the live shows. I've done live streaming. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of shipping. I'm tired of paying the post office, honestly. Like I love what they do. They're great service, but I'm really kind of just I'm a little over it. I've probably spent at least over 100,000, if not like 150,000 in labels since I've been done eBay. So anyway, I hope you guys liked the income video. I know it wasn't exactly what you might have been like hoping for or wanting, but I just want to kind of be transparent with you guys. Like sales have been trending downward, but I've been picking up work other places, and I'm just trying to figure out like how to make this thing work. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is just how I am, trying to be real with you. Thank you again, Found, for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate working with you guys. It has made it a lot easier to do my books. So thank you for that. And if you guys care, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.